Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today on day 4 of the Dear Me Challenge. And if you are already here, go ahead and let me know in the comments that you can hear me, that you can see me. I know that there's a delay on Facebook and YouTube, but I want to make sure that everyone is good. I'm excited. We are still in this. It's day 4, the October challenge for Dear Me, I See You. I'm so excited about today. Well, I've been excited about every day that we've been here. But today I'm even more excited because I remember to take myself off of mute. I remember to take myself off of mute, so we won't have that issue tonight. But thank you so much for joining me. If this is your first time, your first day, thank you. I hope you'll come back again. We are here on Monday and Wednesday of October, talking about Dear Me, I See You. And if you are back for another day to join me, thank you so much. I do appreciate you. So as you're coming in, let me know in the comments that you're here. Say hello. Let me know what city you are watching me from, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Again, there is a delay, so I may not see it when you first do it, but I will recognize you and say hello to you. So let's get started. On Mondays and Wednesday of October, I'm coming in to have a conversation with you for about 25, 30 minutes to share a message with you. And we're talking about having an identity shift. But before we go any further, I want to let you know that to me, Dear Me, I See You is a declaration to the part of yourself that is ready for transformation. And Dear Me, I See You, the anthology, is a best-selling book that I am the visionary of. I have 4 additional co-authors that wrote this book with me, and it's a collaboration of intimate letters from a woman's heart to the little girl within. This book, to me, is a blueprint for any woman or any girl who is ready to address the part of herself where her life experiences have silenced her, and being able to see herself sometimes for the very first time instead of allowing her life experiences to hide her from herself. It's a blueprint of personal, intimate letters to guide you on your journey to have your own Dear Me experience. And if you haven't already ordered, you'll see the link going at the bottom of the screen. You can go ahead and pick up your copy today, and I'll be glad to send you out an autographed copy. A personal autograph copy to you very, very soon. All right, so let's get started. Don't know where that came from. My tongue got all tied up. But yes, we are here today on day 4, and I wanted to just do some housekeeping just to take us back over just a few things that we've been talking about. I said a few minutes ago that this journey is about an identity shift for you to move from the highest version of yourself to your authentic self. And I say you, but I'm on this journey with you. And I am making the strides and the changes and the shifts right here along with you, because an identity shift is something that we experience at different times in our life. When we make a decision that I'm ready to see myself in a more powerful way, I'm ready to believe in myself, I'm ready to no longer be silenced by the things that I've been through. And so it's a power statement to yourself to declare that you are ready for your identity shift. And a part of this journey is embracing the truth. And that means to just simply hold it closer to you instead of pushing it away, because we found that when we push our truth away, when we push the truth of who we are away, we become disconnected from ourselves. So we've been talking about that during this journey. And it's also the next step is to evolve, because as you embrace that part of yourself, you begin to gradually do better. You begin to evolve. You grow and develop into the next layer of yourself, because we all know there's different layers of us. As we age, as we go through life, we go through different experiences. There are different levels to us. And as you begin to embrace the part of you that's may have been hidden for whatever reason, you can slowly and gradually be able to grow and evolve. That's what it means to me, to grow, to evolve, and to do it gradually. And then we talked about excel. That simply means to me to do something better. Forget the typo there, to do something better than you usually do. And I said in the beginning on day one that these definitions may not be something that you find on Google, but it's what it means to me. So yesterday was very powerful for me, as well as my guests that joined me. We talked about, dear me, gather your things. We're not staying here. We gave ourselves permission to move from that place where we feel invisible, where we don't know our power, we don't know our strength, that we've allowed these things to hold us in place for so long. And yesterday we decided that we're not staying in this place. We're ready to move our feet, and knowing that that is a powerful position to be in, that instead of you allowing those things to hold you in place and hold you back and make you blind to who you are and what you're created to do, you gathered those things up and put them in a different position in your life and chose to move your feet. And today we are moving forward. Let me get to it. Today we're talking about, dear me, your truth is your weapon. Use it. And one of the things that's making me so excited today is because if you have been on the internet at all today, I'm sure you've heard about a woman who decided to use her truth as her weapon to set herself free. And I'm sure you've seen how many people, different people, have reacted and responded to her using her truth to set her free. When I talk about your truth is your weapon, use it. Because many times we stay quiet, we stay in hiding because of our truth. We're afraid that somebody else will find out our truth or speak our truth. We are afraid that if someone finds out the truth about us, however big or small we deem that to be, that they're going to judge us. They're not going to see us for who we really are. They're only going to see what was the result of our truth. They're going to see how that truth identifies us. So when I say use your weapon, your truth as a weapon, to use it, it means tell yourself the truth. Start with yourself. When you start with yourself of telling yourself the truth, you can begin to share your truth with others. Whatever safe space that is for you, whether that's counseling, whether that's speaking, whether that's sharing your journey with other people, whether that's writing a book. When you are courageous enough to tell yourself the truth, you are taking your weapon in your hand and using it for your good instead of somebody else deciding that they're going to use it against you. When I started seeing social media going wild today about somebody else's truth, it reminded me of why many times we are afraid to speak up for ourselves, even when we know that by speaking that truth, it frees us. It frees us from shame. It frees us from fear. It frees us from having a limited view of ourselves. And yet, if you look at what's going on social media today, it can cause a lot of people to go back in hiding. Think about how many times that a woman who's gone through sexual assault or sexual abuse or domestic violence, how many times they hide themselves and feel like they're excluded from everyone around them because of this huge secret that they have. And then many times when they express that truth, they are questioned as to, why didn't you say something earlier? Why didn't you file a report? Why I never knew about that? instead of really listening to what you're saying and have in deciding that they're going to assist you in some way as you have found courage to speak that truth. So, what are you using your truth for today? Where are you feeling comfortable and safe where you can expose your truth? One of the ways that I began to expose my truth started when I wrote my first book in 2014. Didn't know it was going to be a book. I was simply writing as God was showing me different things. Didn't know writing that book would lead me into a business of coaching and writing more books. I was coming out of a 19 and a half year marriage, and I didn't want girls and women to go through what I had gone through that affected my choices in life, that affected me not setting boundaries, that caused me to be in relationships that made me feel worse and made me feel devalued and further gave me a false image of myself. I didn't want anybody else to have to do that. So I started writing my book, and writing this book was about my journey to the real me. And of course, when I began to pen that book, of course, a lot of things came back to my mind of, oh, people that I used to know are going to read this. My family is going to see this. What are they going to think about me? You know, what is my former spouse going to think about the things that I'm sharing? And at that point, it wasn't even about anybody else. It wasn't about anybody else. I was feeling led by God to share my journey, but I had to first speak my truth to myself. And with it being my first book, I was still protective of the people that were a part of that journey. But I want you to know that it is not your responsibility to protect anyone else from your truth. What does your truth look like for you? Have you been bold enough to even write down in your journal what your truth is? Or are you too afraid to even see it on the pages before you because that would make it real? Well, let me tell you that when you are bold enough to write your truth, speak your truth, your life can transform. Your identity can really begin to shift. How you see yourself goes from feeling like you have to be in shame to someone who begins to have confidence in herself, someone who begins to value her own words, value what she brings to the world, values how she shows up for herself, values how she learns to say no. What does it cost you? It can cost you a lot of things by sharing your truth, but I believe that it can cost you more by holding on to it and allowing it to silence you. It is so powerful for us to begin to see ourselves. I know how it feels to feel invisible, even when you're in a room full of people, even when you're married or you're in a relationship or you're in a friendship, you feel as if you're standing still and the world is going on around you. You believe that somehow these people have so much more than you have because of your little secret. Today, we discovered that there is a married couple that have been separated for 6 or 7 years. I don't remember the number. Nobody knew about it except the people who needed to know about it. And yet, when the world got a hint of it because of a book that's being written, now everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion about somebody else's truth. And they are speaking words and coming to their own understanding of how this happened. And, oh, that's why this happened. Oh, that's why that happened, because somebody spoke their truth. So as you can see, regardless if you use your weapon for good or let somebody else come and expose it, people are going to talk about you. People are going to have an opinion. But what I'm wanting you to do is be able to expose your truth for your good and be able to free yourself. With each book that I have written, I have un my mind just, my tongue just totally switched. But each book that I have written, each Facebook post that I have put out about a part of my journey, it has uncovered a different layer of myself that allows me to be here before you. Yes, I'm on this journey with you, but I remember, and back before 2014, I never would see myself exposing my truth or sharing my truth with somebody else to be able to help them to be able to see themselves. I never saw that. But each time I am courageous enough to be able to speak my truth, to speak to myself. When we wrote, Dear Me, I See You, even in that process, I was able to see myself even deeper, to see myself with more understanding and compassion, that I was able to also leave some things at the table and walk away from it and no longer allow it to silence me. So what are you ready to tell yourself the truth about? And if you are ready to do that, and knowing that in doing that, then you can be able to change how you see yourself, change what you give yourself permission to do. Would you still do it? Would you still want to tell yourself the truth? I think it's so worth it to be able to do that. And again, going back to what's come across our internet today, people are going to talk about you whether you do it or not. But when you tell your own secrets, when you expose your own truth, it puts you in control. When you're in control, you feel empowered. Now, this is not something that you just run and tell your friends just because they're your friends. There are some things that we need to share that first, as we expose it to ourselves, that we need assistance, we need counseling, we need guidance, we need coaches. And again, as I said yesterday, sometimes we don't think these things impact our business. They don't impact our relationships. They don't impact us believing in ourselves enough to start a business or to write a book, but they do. Because even after writing my first book, I still doubted myself. I still doubted myself that, I felt like, what's the word I'm looking for? An imposter. I felt like an imposter even after writing the first book and the second book. And here, this is my seventh or eighth book that I've written and published. And I still am uncovering parts of myself where I have to re-identify who I am to me, to not feel like I'm an imposter. As I stand here and tell you that it's time for you to use your truth as a weapon for your benefit, and the benefits you receive from it is because I've gone through that journey myself. Dear Me, I See You is a declaration to yourself that I'm no longer staying in this place of being silent. I'm no longer staying in this place of being a victim. I'm no longer staying in this place where I don't see value in me. I am moving forward. Why? Because I'm worthy of it. That I no longer have to live according to the rules and guidelines of my experiences and how it showed up in my life. You get to go from this moment forward and decide, who am I? Who am I? Who do I want to be? Nope. Don't decide who you are and what you want to do based on your experiences, the lies that the experiences tell you. No, decide, this is who I am. This is who I'm becoming. This is who I'm giving myself permission to be. And when you're ready to do that, you can begin to peel back layers of you, because there's something so amazing about a woman who, even though her knees may be shaking, she's saying, I'm not staying here. I'm not going to be this person anymore that is less than my authentic self. Right? So as you're watching this, if you're coming in watching this on the replay, please put hashtag replay in the comments, and I can come back and say hello to you. If you're watching me on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and leave me a comment. say hello to me, give me a little wave to let me know that you're here. If this message is impactful for you, go ahead and let me know that in the comments, because sometimes we know that on social media, everybody doesn't see everything as you're doing this. So even if you're watching this on the replay, I want to hear your comments. I want to hear from you, and so I can know that this message is helping somebody. And of course, forgive me for my tongue. Maybe I need to get me some water. Maybe I need a little water. But even with that, there is no perfection. I'm not telling you that this is about perfection, because I'm going to show up regardless, because I have a purpose of being here today. I want to hear from you. Are you ready to be honest with yourself and use that as your weapon to transform your life? You know, there are things that happen when you get ready to go live, or when you get ready to write your book, or you decide that you want to start a business. Before you do any action, there are some thoughts, there are some emotions that come up that tell you, how dare you think that you can do that, right? Those were the things that came up for me when I wrote my first book, or I was in the process of it. My thoughts, my emotions, the wrong identity I had of myself, it was asking me those questions. Who do you think that you are? Who are you to have anything to say to anybody? You know, every time I would speak when I was younger, people would tell me to shut up, whether it was at school, whether it was the neighbor yelling out the window next door. I always heard shut up. I didn't hear speak. I didn't hear believe. I didn't hear those things. So as you begin to go through this process of doing the work to be able to see yourself, what emotions are coming up for you? Those things that tell you that you are a fraud, that you're not equipped, that you're not qualified. This is not based on education. This is not based on how much money you have in the bank. This is about getting to the root of those stories on the inside of your mind and your emotions. Yesterday, we talked about following the blueprints to get back to how this started, to be able to conquer those thoughts and those emotions that have helped you to identify yourself, has given you a false image of yourself that's holding you in place. It's time for us to be able to be honest with ourselves. We have stuff to do. We have people to impact. We have words to speak out into the atmosphere to not only transform our lives, but transform the lives of others. I never would have thought I would have written one book, let alone 7. And it's come as I have come to know myself in a deeper way, where I've given myself permission to embrace my truth, given myself permission to evolve, and give myself permission to no longer stay in that place where I didn't feel good about myself. And you can do that too. You can do that too. This may be something that you're hearing for the first time, what we've talked about in this challenge, but I believe that you're right on time, that you're meant to be here today, that it's time for you to be able to see you. It's time for you to come out of hiding. It's time for you to no longer be silent. It's time for you to step forward, not just your physical self, but your being, who you are in your being. It's time for you to step forward. Everything inside of you has been telling you to be quiet, that you don't have any value, that what you say has no value, that who you are has no value, that what you're saying, people aren't listening. I hear the same things. The difference is that I choose to no longer allow it to silence me. I remember when I set up to do a challenge here a few months ago, because people didn't show up, that was like an echo in my head of what I used to believe. And I stopped the challenge. I stopped the challenge mid-month of what I committed to do for myself. And I had to go back and do some work on myself, some inventory on myself, some healing on myself, to give myself permission to say, we're not stopping here. You committed to doing something. This is not just about you. This is about the person who is meant to be on the live, that heard you say you were going to do something, and they're here for the word to hear it. What do you have within you that is time for somebody else to hear? What book is it time for you to write because somebody else needs your story? What platform are you meant to be on? So one person in the middle row can hear your story and their lives be changed. You can't do that if you keep allowing your situations, your stories, your emotional and mental struggles to hide you, right? Think about a weapon. When you have a weapon in war, somebody can talk to you all day, but the person who has the war feels more in control. They can cause you to be fearful that your life is not gonna be yours anymore. They can seem more of a threat. But when you use that same weapon to protect yourself, to heal yourself, to help yourself to evolve, it's such a powerful place to be. All right. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today on day 4, where we said, Dear me, your truth is your weapon. Use it. We are on day 4, y'all. I'm still in this, and y'all are still in this with me. I'm so excited about that. Join me on Monday and Wednesday of October, wherever you're watching this video, at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're in the shift. We are in a shift because the natural seasons have changed, but we're also in a shift where we are ready to move forward and transform our life. We've experienced some things this year where we're not even the same person we were at the beginning of the year. And we're looking toward the end of this year and stepping into 2024. This is not about resolution. This is about transformation. If you're willing to do the work, apply the things that I'm sharing with you, as among other information that you are gaining to transform your life, you can step at the end of this year and step into 2024 to be the woman that you never imagined yourself to be. So it's been fun. I'm excited to be consistent. I'm excited to keep showing up for you. And don't forget, if you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay, so I can come back and say hi to you. If you have not ordered your copy of my best-selling anthology, Dear Me, I See You, the link is going below this video, and I'll also leave it in the comments. You can order your copy, and I will autograph it for you personally and get it shipped out to you. All right? So I will see you on Monday, this following Monday at 7 p.m., and I hope to see you there. All right. Y'all take care.